Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship. Huh.
You can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Get lost!
Here I come! Start up!
Here's up, you got company!
I'll smash you!
Freeze laser! Not in your dreams!
You're mine!
Mega
Flying freaks!
What did they just reveal?
Shia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than
Commander of Heaven!
Scenic Cyclone!
Start up!
Stars of light! Rain down! We don't have firearms here on Dana. I can show you mine if you like. That would be really awesome, Xion.
Severing wind! Take this! Burn! Severing wind!
We can really make weapons with this?
Get lost!
You're mine!
On your knees.
No further!
Photon Flash!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Come and face me!
The waters of the
It cools up. Time to get out of the way.
You're mine! Elusive Phoenix Blade!
This one's
You
mine!
got fire!
I've got it! Let a compliment handle it!
All yours! I'm ready! Go, Lee!
Finish without...
In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Sleep now!
Phoenix Blade!
Now you see what I can do.
I'm ready! Go, Lee! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Looks like it could be worth something. My face is starting to sting, and my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Xion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. This'll be a delicious piece of cake!
Start up!
Elusive deity.
Damn it!
Their hide as thick as armor!
Void Blast! Slide! Let's go!
Lunar corruption!
Take this!
No armor can stop me.
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Take this.
Start up!
Lightning orb!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Burn in hell!
Freeze Lancer! Raging
Severing
Storm!
wind!
Negative hit.
Water! Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! We work well together.
Like a finely timed
Dance in the
waltz.
wind! Sleep now! I'm ready! Get on up there with the others!
Severing wind! We did it!
As impressive as always. Eat dirt! No, I mean you're even better than ever. I've never seen Theo actually look good.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. That's no ordinary enemy I see over there.
This won't be easy. Don't be such a pessimist.
Flame inside me, yours to be let free! Here I come! I'm
Airborne.
Ask Astral energy!
Say no more!
Well done! Fierce evil!
Stardust!
Freeze Lancer! Lightning Orb!
Take this!
Lightning
The
Condenser!
enemy wields arc
Save
too.
you!
We'll soon see about that! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Little help!
Win! This one's all mine! Stardust!
Glacial Spear! Fierce evil!
Win!
You have to hit for the burn area on their back! Freeze Lancer!
Exploit the enemy's weakness.
Win! It's almost too strong! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's where we help! Trouble!
Take this!
Winds of heaven!
An astral arc charge
That's
like
my
that
cue.
could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop it.
Win!
Heal my weary companion.
Severing Wind!
If it's in the sky,
being
it's
interrupted.
mine!
I owe you so much, Rinwell.
Maybe my art do have a place in this world.
You picked... Sure. It's time you can do.
Radiant light!
Win!
Here!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! Severing Wind! Double Demon Fang!
Confiscated!
It's too much!
I can handle it!
Strike!
Save you!
Force Blast!
Maelstrom!
I'm ready!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope to listen to.
No, I mean you're even better than ever. I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
No further!
Thunder Peel!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry. My word. This must be the work of Providence.
Bravo, what now?
Means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though.
Guess I misread the landing.
Out of our way!
Negative gate! Anything in armor is all mine! I'll thank you! Carve through armor! Are those rocks in?
I'm not done!
Amazing.
Double Demon Fang!
Astral energy!
Say no more! That astral energy was incredible.
I gave it everything I had. Little help!
On
Here
your
I go! Okay. Between heaven and earth.
Air pressure!
A wailing
Bending you apart!
Bloody You're really, really strong, Alvin.
I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Still,
Defenses!
glad you have your uses.
I'll show you how useful I can be!
Here I go!
Mike with blackened blade!
Spread! The water glaciers
One keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
The water glaciers
I shall ensure you survive this!
Ignite!
Right away! The waters of creation!
Bloody howling!
Take this!
Dance in mortal droplet!
Another incantation ruined.
The waters of creation!
I'm ready!
Tidal wave!
We managed to pull through.
Let's see what you've got.
Don't mind if I do.
Shattering the pieces! Attack time! I can carve through armor!
The waters of creation! Dance in mortal droplet! Tidal wave!
Rotating pile driver!
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
Milk and plates here!
Blah blah blah! Spread! You get the gist!
Far enough!
All this...
Anything in armor is all mine!
You get the gist!
I'll smash you!
Nail struck! The blah blah blah!
You picked the wrong fight!
Tidal wave! You get the gist! Spread! Don't mind if I do!
Negative gate!
Being interrupted.
You get the gist! Spread! Blah blah blah!
Rising Falcon!
Blah blah blah! Spread! You get the gist! I never miss! Here's a raging cascade! Spread!
Leave the charges to me!
Blah blah blah!
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford no more playing
Not
nice!
against a worthy opponent.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the
tonight's meal is
better.
on you.
You and I both.
go.
You get the gist.
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! That extra training paid off.
Ignite! Severing wind!
Allow me to help you.
Stardust!
The water is creation.
Burning!
Glacial spear. Pierce evil.
Take this!
Double Demon Fang! Coming through!
through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Shine! Radiant light!
Hold on to your arm.
Regenerate!
Here I come!
Okay, here I go. Thanks. Severing Wind!
I'll grind you into dust!
Shooting star! Tempting wall! Reload!
Double Demon Fang!
Everlasting shot!
Stardust!
Eagle ray! Anything in armor is all mine!
Wind!
Without a trick! A
Soaring Light Spear!
A wave of lightning!
Ah!
Eat it up!
Severing Wind! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! This is the power of the blazing sword!
Retreat if you know what's good for you! I'll smash you!
Radiant Pierce!
I owe you one.
Here!
Ignite!
Sonic
Go for the weak point!
Here I come!
Lightning orb!
Soaring blast!
Whoa, hey! Now! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Step back! This one's all law!
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there will be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily.
Lost!
You're mine!
Now you see what I can do!
I'm not done!
Wind!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Take this!
Duly noted.
Now you see what I can do!
Severing Wind!
I'll be saving this one. Blah, blah, blah.
Grant me the strength to march on!
Void Blast!
Lion
I owe you one.
Freeze Blazer! Where are you going?
Double Demon Fang!
Shield from
Fall
calamity!
into thy own death by the power of fire!
Now I can let loose! Stardust!
Glacial
Here I
Spear!
come!
Pierce evil!
Stardust!
Whirling struggle! Freeze Blazer! Winds of heaven! Earth force! Lunar corruption!
Take this!
Cyclone by the power of fire! Air by the power of flame! Dance without a now!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more! They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds. Hi, Hoodle!
Change of strategy.
Duly noted. Come one, come all! No escape! Wind!
You're mine!
In
a bind?
I have no limits! Crush!
Now you see what I can do!
Aim for the weak spot!
Too much to handle? Burning
The
strike!
flame inside me, yours! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Tempest Whirl! Here I
Grant me
go!
the strength to
I'm
march
not
on!
done! Stardust! Burn in hell! Here I
Green
come!
Pierce! You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Spear!
Wind! Without a trick! Arc sealed!
Severing Wind!
Down on the ground!
Raging Cascade!
What's in the sky is mine!
Rending your...
Bloody...
Well then, let's keep moving.
This'll be a delicious piece of cake!
Armor won't save you!
One more!
Soda!
Where are you going?
Lightning Orb! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Iron Cleaver! Severing
Here's a
Wind!
healing arc!
Aim for the weak spot!
First aid!
Okay,
Raging
here
Cascade!
Severing Wind!
Heal my head!
It's on!
The waters of
Ether!
creation! Blood!
Soda!
Mortal droplet!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Freeze Lancer!
You're finished!
Now!
Shadon!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry discussion.
There's still more to go.
I owe you one. I have no limits! Severing Wind!
Burning
Soaring right clear!
Hear my call!
Here I go!
A wailing dance!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help!
Ha! Not today!
Raging Cascade! Flame of Fury! In here!
Wind!
No art is being interrupted.
Freeze Lancer!
On your...
Severing Wind!
Savior! I can do this now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Step back! This one's all law!
Courteous on.
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Raging Cascade! Glacial Spear! Fierce Evil! Raging Cascade!
Execution!
The waters of creation!
Negative
Dance!
gate!
Immortal Droplet!
Reflect on thy
Gemini Aqua!
They
Tidal
smite with
Wave!
black
The
and
waters
flame.
of creation!
Execution!
Dance! Immortal Droplet!
In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together!
Like a finely timed walk.
Now you see what I can do!
Hear me! Flame of Tidal Wave! The waters of Dance! Immortal Droplet!
Looks like we won.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Raging Cascade!
The flame inside me is yours
I'll
to be
heal
let
you all!
free!
Raging Cascade! Spread! Eat dirt!
Rising
Where
Wyvern!
are you going? The flashing part's their weak point! I'll heal you all!
Rising Wyvern!
Healing circle! Tidal wave! The waters of
Why'd you
creation!
human?
To stop you dying?
Dance! Immortal Droplet!
I'm ready! Shadonzdarcnes! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclo!
The waters of creation!
On your blade! Try this! Infernal Air Pressure!
Tidal wave!
Ready and ready! The Tempest engulfs you! What I can do!
By the power of
Lay
Red!
inside me!
Resist
Here!
without
They
rage
might be
cascade!
black
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
To achieve such harmony.
Takes a singular will.
This bridge will hold itself together, right?
Most definitely. Though I won't make any promises.
Which one is... Retreat if you know what's good for you!
Water, hear my call!
Here I come! Eat dirt!
Raging cascade! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Call disaster blade one! Come forth the healing security!
Bloody
Do it!
pieces! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
The waters of creation! Pierce evil!
I'll smash you! Eagle Ray!
Freeze Lancer!
Swallow blade!
The tidal wave! The waters of creation!
Deny!
Water, hear my
You
call!
attack without mercy.
Because I
have
can't
no
afford to
limits.
hesitate.
Not against a worthy opponent.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both. I'm ready for the next battle.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing. Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone.
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it! This isn't ideal.
In a bind?
Sorry. I didn't want to put you out.
What are friends for if we can't depend on one another?
You're right. I'll bear that in mind.
Eat dirt!
Back into the fray. Lunar corruption. There you go. No less.
Far enough!
I never miss. Dance in the wind. Air drop.
Not today!
Arts require complete those circles. What would I do without? I owe you, Sion. Healing is what my arts do best. All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction. Here's the evil.
Now you see what I can do!
Sleep now.
Win!
Now we're not here. Let me help. I'll be saving this one. I'll heal you all. Raging
You're
storm.
mine.
All right, it's showtime. Thanks so much.
Win!
Raging cascade.
Win!
Thanks for the healing.
Watch yourself.
Yeah, you too.
Armor won't save you!
Tornado drive! Win!
Field.
Stardust!
Get on in there together.
Win!
Blah, blah, blah. That's
Win!
your play.
Stardust! Stardust!
I can handle it.
Win! Stardust! Stardust!
The waters of creation. Dance, immortal droplets.
Severing this one's all mine!
Out of ammo. Tidal wave.
Win! Win!
Seven-eye opera.
Win!
Raging cascade.
Stardust!
Here's a healing art. Dance in the wind.
Here I go!
In here.
Severing wind! Win! Wide open!
It won't escape me!
It's too much!
Waters of creation. Dance, immortal
Severing
droplets.
wind! Radiant light!
Force of
In an instant! Impact clock! We work well together.
Do it!
finally time to walk.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Okay.
Healing circle.
Thanks, Shion.
Be careful not to overdo it.
We'll just have to keep fighting. Do better.
Leave the enemy's arts to me.
No complaints here!
Raging cascade.
Here, do it!
The water. Astral energy.
Say no more.
The waters of creation. They're all coming after me.
I'm coming, Ridwell.
I'm not scared. I'm totally fine. Where are you going?
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford to hesitate.
Not against the
The
worthy
waters
opponent.
of creation fight better at a distance. The further away, the better.
You and I both.
I'll heal you all. Healing circle. What would I do without you? Maybe
Reinforcements incoming! Not a problem!
She is strong. She can
Don't
handle
mind
it.
if I do. You can be really dense, Sohoyu.
This one's mine!
Not in your dreams.
Soaring blast! Severing wind!
Raging cascade. Here's the evil. The waters of creation.
You'll pay for that!
Dance, immortal.
I'll bring you back from death abyss! This one's mine!
Tidal wave.
Far enough!
The waters of creation. You get the gist.
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
A new lease on
Not
life.
today!
Tidal wave.
Allow me to help you. Being interrupted. A thrilling performance.
Hold on to your arm. Here I come. Here's a healing arc. Not in your dreams. First aid. Blah blah blah. By the blah blah blah. Gemini Opera. You get the gist. You get the gist.
Glacial Steel!
Here's the evil. You get the gist. You get the gist.
Take this!
this help?
You picked the wrong fight!
Far enough! Take this! I'll finish you!
Here
Looking
goes!
good!
You get
Where are you going?
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Take this!
Raging cascade! Raging cascade!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Swallow Blade!
Raging cascade! Raging cascade! The water's getting closer! As impressive as always.
But I hope that wasn't true.
The water! No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
Nothing gets by me!
Here, let me help. It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender. We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alvin!
Watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go.
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Hey, is that it over there?
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, after all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken. And this is no picnic for me, either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegus. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her thorns. Xion?
Huh? Yeah.
Where? Xion? Where'd Xion go? How could she just go off on her own? Xion. Xion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens...
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renaissance on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much. When this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. the true nature of which I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have... It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I...
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite...
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't...
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just...
At least you figured it out in time.
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion.
I know. No.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me...
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made...
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with. We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point. But I guess I'll think it over more then.
Yeah, I think... Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard,
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt any. I just figured that that was the type of person, but it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice her.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call...
I'm sure it made her happy. No.
You...
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever... You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be...
Yeah. When you think about it, we were all... But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again.
Oh, that?
Compared to what Shion's going through, still. Even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by... Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing into...
Yeah.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like...
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I have my own dreams. But a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive...
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done.
The end of the world.
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring...
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands. So many clues. Yet the complete picture...
So where do her thorns fit in that?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sent. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelegion. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have in...
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will... But why would they want to destroy...
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like...
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but see, especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry, as much as I try to look like I have things under control. Everyone's...
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renans, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you, until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Huh? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, we thought we'd turn the tables and critique your appearance for a change.
It's not fair if we're the only ones subjected to it.
What?
Did you guys hear? Apparently, she found that dress of hers in some old ruins.
Alphen, we haven't heard from you yet. Would you care to tell us your verdict?
Sure, I guess. To be honest, when I first saw Shion in that dress, I
Quit it!
was absolutely captivated.
Alright, I think that's enough fun for one day.
Done. This is
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I'm looking forward to breakfast. Morning. Ready to head out?
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knight.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. All right? Then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you. What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before...
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life. For as long as I can... They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experiment?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit. I thought things couldn't get any worse. But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Well, sure I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy?
That's exactly... Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stake? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to... If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction,
A world free of sacrifice.
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? If we're going to win, everyone has to win. Now I see it. The true nature of
A victory without losers. But that means that a Dahnan victory over Rena can't be the end.
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future. We can do this.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get...
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. You too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult... Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
You okay?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and...
Oh, you don't say. That should definitely come in handy if any... Alphen?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing, Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that mean... you were...
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right?
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's... the world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Dahnans, wherever... If I've learned anything on this journey, it's... and the one who brought me along with...
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your...
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh?
Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all fluff?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about...
Hey, I never said I was... I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about...
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renan ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Law's blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know. hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less.